Always.
Okay, we're,
We can all rise for pledge allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. My apologies. First item tonight is the roll call. There are 4 members present out of 5. Mr. Nutty is in Augusta still. Next item on this, consider approving the minutes held from April 9th.
Make the motion, we approve those minutes.
Motion has been made, seconded by Kelly. All in favor? Next item up on the agenda tonight is Mr. Jeff Fry from the American Legion.
How do you pronounce that, by the way?
Sorry.
Fry. I don't know what you want.
I think that's.
Yeah. First off, I want to thank the town for allowing me the opportunity to come here and be before the council and the town tonight. We thank you very much for everything you do for the Legion and our cooperation we have together as a working relationship that we have. I think that's fantastic. We're looking forward to our Memorial Day parade. And then when we're done that, we're going to work on Oak Fest. So we are doing a lot of work on the parade. That's coming along very well. We're looking for participants. Anybody you know who wants to get involved, give us a call. We're looking for some more groups to get in, but hope to be a fantastic parade like we had last year, except for a little rain, but it all went well. So, and we thank you for your donation and helping us out. That provides us to bring the Shriners in. So that money goes to the Shriners. So what do you donate? They take the money up for gas, the rest of the money goes right to the Shriners Hospital. So thank you all for that. So I'm here tonight mainly. The American Legion Certificate of Appreciation. This certificate of appreciation is gratefully presented to Dana Wrigley. In recognition and sincere appreciation of outstanding service to the community of Oakland, and in recognition of your many years of distinguished service, the Oakland American Legion has named you Grand Marshal of the Memorial Day Parade on Monday, May 26, 2025. Presented by Jeffrey Fly, Commander, Decker Simmons, American Legion, Post 51, Oakland, Maine, this 22nd day of April, 2025. We're in the bottom of the barrel. I was right below you though.
Gotcha, guys. Thank
Can we get speak?
you.
Oh, it wasn't speaker.
They have to look at my track.
Yeah. You get practice parade. Dave, good to see you. Yes, it's the light bulb way, right? Oh. The light bulb way. The next item up is from Kathy. Nice station. From Kathy, and it talks about the Oak Press.
It'll be July 26th. So what we're asking with the year, we're going in front of the council to ask at 2:30 p.m. in the afternoon. So we get our food vendors in and the DJ, and we're asking if we're going to have the noise ordinance go until 11 p.m. again on that night. We usually do that every year, ask you. Stretch that out from 10 p.m. to 11.
Is that the time you closed it last year too?
Yeah.
It's a tribute to Jimmy Buffett this year.
Was that right?
So it's 5 o'clock.
So we're all.
5 o'clock somewhere, we get Hawaiian,
Sit around, drink margaritas.
we are, yes.
And then I know on Saturday, we were working with Restless Trail Riders, ATVs, with their light parade as well.
They're gonna do their blow ride.
That night?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Saturday.
Saturday.
Oh, Saturday
So
night,
we'll
yeah.
have 2 parades then. Yeah.
I make a motion, we grant permission to close the road off for that period of time and also to extend the noise.
Motion made. We have a second. Seconded by Dave. All in favor? Thank you. Next up is Nate. Nate has a dangerous building. You want to start this? Oh.
So last week I received a letter from, it's not really from anybody, I guess. They didn't say who it was from other than some citizens off of Oak Street and Hammond Drive area, concerned homeowners. And what it is, they're concerned about 211 Oak Street. 211 Oak Street is a house that has been vacant for years. It's got holes in the roof, trees coming up through it, bunch of trash around it. It's when you come out of Hammond Drive, it's the house right there. Last year I did send a letter to the owner, it's Margaret Blanchard, and spoke with her. She no longer can live there. She can't live on her own. She's living with her son now. But she had hopes that she could fix it up and live in it. I did say to her that it's probably something that's not gonna happen, and that I'd like to see it cleaned up if anything. I told her that I'd give her some time, so here it is. I sent her another letter on the 17th, the day that I received this. I sent her another letter just to give me a call, in regards to, the condition of the house. Now, I guess you can claim it as a dangerous building. There is holes in the roof, there is access where people can get in and out of it. Now, I don't know if they are, I don't live on the road and I don't see much activity there. But I would say that there are no doors in the front and the windows are kind of blown out of it. Like I said, big holes in the roof and whatnot. So if there were to be vandals were to go in there, or people were to go in there, somebody would get hurt, and I don't know how we would ever know if they were hurt there or not. So I just letting you guys know that I plan on moving forward on this one, and hope with some support. That's all. There's plenty of other dangerous buildings in Oakland that fit the dangerous buildings category, along with some property maintenance stuff that I'd also like to deal with. But I just would like to let you guys know that I'm gonna need your support on this. So, you know, I have something. I was looking back at dangerous building back before me, or back in 2020, and it was the house at 542 Smithfield Road, and it was the Linda Ratcliffe house. And I guess we took that into consideration, and we boarded the house up. And it's 5 years, it's still sitting there. I don't know where to go from that. And I don't know where the town, you know, where the town is gonna go with it. Do we board them up? Do we knock them down? Do we, how do we go about doing this? So this is an avenue that I have to explore better for myself, but, again, I just thought it would be nice to talk to you guys about it, and let you guys know that I'd like to move forward with this. And again, hoping for your support, that's all.
Is there any signs on the house or anything, Nate? That's
Zero. No. There is none, Dan.
nothing. It says keep
No
out.
trespassing, keep out, all of that stuff there isn't, but that's definitely a start, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
Recognize that it's a bad spot.
Kelly?
I certainly think you need to pursue it. You have my support. With concerns, the one you just mentioned, that's 5 years old, that the town boarded up.
Yeah, I think you did go there, put boards on the windows and whatnot.
Now liable if somebody goes in there and gets hurt.
That's a question I have to look at. I don't know. Those are the questions that are going through my head.
That gives me
Yeah.
serious concern
Yeah,
that
liability.
if we start that process on other properties, where now I feel putting ourselves at jeopardy.
Yeah, Kelly, I'm gonna talk to our attorney on that one anyway. I have a good relationship with our town attorney, Bernstein Assure. I'm sure I can have that conversation with him. Of where the liability falls will be when we start doing that.
You talk to AJ too.
Excuse me?
You talk to AJ.
Yeah, I'll talk to AJ, yeah. But this one on Oak Street is not, it's not something that is just a board up window. I mean, this is a.
Dilapidated.
The one on Smithfield, how we had to board that up, it was a huge windstorm and the whole front of that house just fell off.
Yeah.
Yeah, remember that?
Yeah.
I mean, just literally fell off, just separated, fell off.
Yeah.
But we actually boarded it up, so whatever belongings they had wouldn't be ruined, but as Kelly said, I'd be worried about what our liability is. If we're starting to do maintenance on people, and then what happens if one of our crew goes over and gets hurt, you know? So, you know, I'd be interested. Dave?
I would think that we would be covered. As far as liability goes, we obviously, if we're aware of it and don't do something, we almost have as much liability. I don't think we're doing maintenance. If we're securing a property, It's to decrease rat infestation and all those other categories on the health and safety side of things. And as far as Smithfield Road goes, what we boarded up is not the extent of the problem, but if you now look at the wall and look at the roof is all rotted out, so that whole thing's gonna fall off again anyways.
Yep.
So.
I guess my concern was more that it had been 5 years since we did something and haven't done nothing has happened.
Yeah.
I don't mind the fixing it or
For safety
making it
reasons.
safety immediately,
Right,
but
right.
when we're doing it and leaving it there to continue to deteriorate, I'm
So
not
I
a
guess like,
fan of that.
what do we do? Do we go ahead and tear it down? It's not our property, right? And how do you justify that? And how do you go along? That's why I said, I have a lot more, to learn and a lot more to grab.
Well, if you could do that and get back to us, let us know what the avenues we can
Yeah.
take. You know?
Yeah.
And then if we're putting material into it, how do we get our money back? That could be a clean.
Well, my question was, are taxes being paid on these properties?
Yes,
They are.
and taxes are paid and sewer paid. Oh, sorry, sewer is not sewer, but taxes are paid. I looked at it today, they were actually in the credit of 30 cents
Wow.
on that property.
Can't go there.
And then to
Yeah.
piggyback on that, and instead of, to go on other as far as dangerous, right? Dangerous buildings can also be property maintenance issues. And there's several of those in town that are, there's several, I should say, and we can pinpoint a couple that we already know of, right? That we've all seen. But there's several of them. So, I think I have 15 or 18 letters that I've sent out since, the beginning of April. And all these letters they're not notice of violations, because notice of violations come with an attachment, right? You have so many days and then I have to move forward with that. So I've been giving them, warning letters and just conversation letters. Talk to me about it, see what we can do. And I have had pretty good feedback on some of those. We'll see, but a lot of those are, there's some in town that really do need to get picked up that are kind of dangerous in a way, right? I don't know where we want to go with that, but I think that's always been a code enforcement issue.
Do we have a light ordinance?
Like, we have a property maintenance ordinance. Yeah. And I think there's some wording in there, Schroeder, David, that there's some wording in there. I think this is blighted property, but I don't think that we have an ordinance just on that. Anyway,
As a plain old citizen who doesn't have any vote, I would support, and I think the community would support, doing everything we can to keep on the same path that we're doing in other areas. We're so proud of our downtown flowers. We're so proud. We've got 2 new businesses in town. We've got the Overlook, which used to be one of those properties, and it just worked out perfectly. So we could put the Overlook in and not get into a legal wrangle because we foreclosed on the property. But I think the town has some responsibility. If we have properties that are unsafe and we don't do anything, I think we're as liable as if we do something that's be safe, but it gets somebody mad at us. I would support, as a citizen, spending money if we have to. Waterville has something that we used to have a while back, where we had a day in the spring where people could leave stuff out, and the public works crew goes around Waterville, and it's amazing how much stuff they get, and they bring it to the transfer station, no charge. We could, I'm not suggesting we do that, but it's one of the possibilities we could do. Right next to Walgreens, there's a house that's had a tremendous amount of junk outside the house. And I'm surprised Walgreens hasn't complained about it. They started cleaning it up, but there's still a lot of junk. There's a house on High Street, a trailer, that it looks like our transfer station when you drive by it. We're trying to encourage people to move into our town. They're going up to our Overlook and they see this transfer station. Spoke to Nate about it today. He knows them. He knows what's been going on, but we haven't done anything yet. I encourage him to do as much as he can, and the council to provide the resources to be able to do something. We want the community to look as good as we think it's becoming. Right out here, we spent a lot of money on that lot. It looks great. So use some of the monies that we've stockpiled and take care of some of the issues that it needs to talk about. So I'm just supporting whatever we can do to make things look better and to provide funding for it.
Regarding High Street, I mentioned that a couple of years ago that it's almost a constant lawn sale there. And I don't know if we should develop or force an ordinance that says lawn sales are
We have one.
We have
yeah, only a certain amount of time, and maybe that's what they went after the last time.
Yeah.
But if it's not for sale, then it's just junk or somebody's treasure that's.
I think. So,
The one on top of the hill is even worse. That's the one on the west side going up. It's a traffic hazard. Because if somebody's parked there from the lawn sale, cars not going out of lane to get by. The one on top of the hill, there's mattresses, there's.
That's just living, yeah.
Yeah, I spoke with them, I spoke with them and there's a story, right? There's always a story. And I got the story and I've spoken with the daughter, I've spoken with the son. And just most recently, 3 or 4 weeks ago, a month ago, maybe less than a month ago, 3 weeks ago, I've talked to the son again. And, you know, it's the whole, we're getting things going, I don't want to live here like this, but it boils down to this, just a bunch of talk, so.
I read it too, maybe, it costs $11 to get rid of the projects. Maybe, especially that, they have what, 4 or 5?
Probably.
So maybe we give him a 1-day pass for bulky at the transfer station to help him, I don't know,
A day in the spring.
a day in the spring.
No, I mean, it might
Yeah.
help.
Awesome.
Any further conversations? Thank you, Nate. Seeing none. Next up, sewer, sign sewer commitment.
Yes. We made it through our sewer commitment. We only have to call Jan in one. So this is through, January through March 31st. $136,351.76. Yeah, she came in and kind of
Walk us through it.
went through what Shannon had done. We're gonna be okay.
I just have a question, ignorant question. First time I've ever signed one of these. What am I signing?
So it's the sewer commitments. When we do sewer billing, there's a commitment that is made with the amount. And if you read through
So
the,
it's to collect sewer bills.
correct.
Thank you.
Next up is the safety committee.
In your packet, we have a safety committee, but we haven't really been meeting a lot. So I've been working on reestablishing an accident investigation procedure. So this is just for town employees, so it's just town related. By having this and meeting quarterly or monthly, we get a discount on our workers' comp insurance, we get a discount on our property casualty. We belong to a WISP, they call it, through MMA, WISP. Something of workers' insurance, something. So it's a good thing, it saves us money. And I actually stole this from another town and kind of altered it for Oakland. I like that it has, step-by-step investigation procedures for the department head, for the employee, when they're supposed to notify me, when we do, of course, if it's a super emergency, they call 911 if that's the case, but, property damage protocol. We're meeting May 1st as a committee. I wanted to kind of get this in front of you. Prior to that, in case you guys have any changes or recommendations, but I like the fact that it has an employee accident report that they fill out, like what they went through, and then the supervisor has one as well. MMA likes this, you know, like Dave Berger said earlier, we have to have our training in place, or actually Dave said it. We have to have all our training in place. We have to have safety committee, documentation, minutes, meeting. For insurance purposes, so. Any questions?
I have a few suggestions along the way here. I don't know if you want me to just give this back to you and you can look it
Either
over.
way.
Or if you wanted to talk about it tonight or.
Either way, but maybe give you the suggestions, I'll make the corrections.
Well, I'll just mention a couple of them here. Under the minor workplace injury, highly encourage the employee to get medical care. Some of these guys, they cut a finger off and say, tough enough, they're not gonna bother doing anything about it. That's not their choice, as far as I'm concerned. That should be the supervisor and your choice that we want them to be looked at. If it's no more than having the fire department EMTs come and take a look at it. And say that they need some stitches or they need some bandages or,
Yeah.
you know, that a lot of times the employee doesn't want to do it because he doesn't want something on their record and all this stuff.
Yeah.
And under the next heading, department head information, I think you should have a list there that you get all names of anyone present at the accident scene.
Goes on back as witness list
Yeah, back there, but I think it should be up here on the
as well.
on that first page where you talk about, department head information needed for reporting to the HR representative. You need the list of everybody there. And, somewhere along the line here, we need to do more to stress. Well, on this, I'll do this first. On this page here where there's, pages aren't numbered, it says M3 on the page. I don't know if that is page 3 or not. Up in that first box, as the reasons for accident. I think lack of training should be listed there. Some of the horseplay and you got inattention, not knowing how to use the tools and things like that. Lack of training should be there.
Okay.
And over in the next box is failure to wear PPE. I don't think a lot of our crews do enough to push their personal protective equipment. Safety glasses, most everything they do, whether they're taking a hammer and pounding a piece of metal, a chip can come off and fly in their eye. And they need to have safety glasses on. And they have a saw that they saw a hot top with when they're doing digging and that stuff, or kick gravel everywhere, sparks and stuff. So, and I've seen some of them that when they were building this building here, that they were working here and you go by and you'd see them at times with no hard hat on. That just can't be allowed.
Right.
I mean, if you notice those power company trucks now, you very seldom will see a guy get out of the truck without his hat on. And that's because there's been people sent home for getting out of the truck without their hat on over the years. So it takes a long time. And on the last page, on the second line there, I think contractors need to be listed there too, because it's our responsibility if we have contractors working here to see that they're following the safety rules too. Like when the contractors built this building here, that they had to have their safety equipment on. And then in the next paragraph, it says that to help meet these goals, the town will provide safety training. And it should say require employees to take safety training in both that sentence and the one below, rather than just we'll provide it. It should be required.
I have to word annually to that.
Weekly.
Well, different training is different, depending on what you're doing.
Right, but
And
the general
somewhere-
piece should always be annual.
Will mandate annual safety.
Bureau of Labor has directives per job category.
Yeah.
And it says what's annual and what's one time.
and
Which we do.
And
We're just gonna do a better job of that.
the fire department has it for their equipment, is when you get trained on a certain piece of equipment, it's kept track of.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure if Public Works has that or not, but they should have for any piece of equipment, jackhammer, that you know what you need for safety equipment, or one of these hot top saws, you know what you need for safety equipment. And you should be signed off that you trained on it. Because when you come to an accident investigation, if you don't have the paperwork, you didn't do the training. So, you can get sued a lot quicker.
Yeah, we keep.
So I think we need to do, and each department might be different, like, AJ's department would be lawnmowers, whether they've been trained on each type of lawnmower that they're working on and the portable ones and stuff. So you've got a lot to do, I think, for your committee when you get going.
We do. We do.
But it's all good.
But every department does annual training, whether it's online or in person or as a group. They keep track of it. I have lists of attendees that attended it, when it was, and a lot of our libraries, we send out trainings through MMA, and they do all theirs online, we do ours online. So it's all tracked and.
But I think the employee that we got hit by the bucket on the excavator, I don't think he had a hard hat on, did he?
You know,
That goes against our record bad.
it's off our record. We have it at 18. So
Yeah, right, but.
it's not.
My only suggestion for the near miss stuff was making it non-punitive.
Yeah.
People are gonna be more apt to report something if it's non-punitive.
A learning lesson rather than.
Right.
Next up is Monday, June 30th.
So Monday, June 30th is the last day of our fiscal year. It takes about 4 hours to cash up for the day, post, reconcile, run an AP, to do all the state reporting, the dogs, the concealed weapons, the motor vehicle, like everything. So I know we closed a couple years ago at 2, I think. Worked out great. Last year, we didn't have to do it because the 30th was on a Saturday or Sunday, and we did everything on Friday, and we were closed. So I'm asking the council if we can close at 3 o'clock on June 30th to close the fiscal year, because we need to, and then run all the trio stuff, which takes about an hour, so that we're ready to go in the new year at 7 a.m. next day.
You said 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock?
3 o'clock,
3
sorry.
o'clock. Is
Big-
that's what I'm saying. Is that enough time?
Yeah, I mean, we'll probably be there till that.
Anything at 1 hour is not gonna make a difference. So if you think 2 o'clock, we better.
What do you think?
But you closed on Friday, so we don't want to close too much on Monday because
2 o'clock is not.
it's the end of the month registration of vehicles and all of that stuff too. All the citizens coming in. So I think we have to be cognizant of both ends.
Absolutely. I think 3 would be fine.
3 is fine.
3's good. It's 2 hours, you know.
I think we're
still gonna be
well
there,
ahead,
so-
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
You know,
that's
like,
why I'm
starting
asking now, so.
Starting now, let them know
Get
the way
that.
ahead, like Kelly said, is because end of the month.
Yeah.
There's
a lot of steps in closing the fiscal year, so it's much better when it's on a weekend.
we're gonna see it very quickly. Any questions, thoughts?
I'd make a motion, we go into executive session.
No, 3 o'clock, 3 o'clock, we're still on.
Oh, 3
Monday, yeah.
I thought we
Do
were
we
doing.
need a motion?
I thought we
Do we need a
agreed.
motion? Do you need
I
any?
would like a motion.
There you go.
yes.
I'll make that motion, then.
And I got other things, we can't just,
Okay.
that's all we have.
No, but we had. Thank you. All in favor? Thank you. I know now, anybody have anything else? Cascade Mill property.
So I've been working with Bernstein Scher and Katie Cog. There is some brownfield cleanup, different than the awarded brownfield money for chemicals and all that. So this is it's different. It's a different pool of money, but they need permission to enter the property, which we need a signature from the owner, which is in a nursing home in Falmouth. He thinks, I know Don Borman spoke to him and he thinks the town has it, the town owns it. I went back, he asked, if we lien the property, how many years we lien, when the lien's ever paid. Well, nothing was ever paid. They have two accounts. We liened for 5 years in a row. Then for some reason, we took a 4-year hiatus, and then we liened them again in 2019. Which was never paid. And then each year we just like ignore that they owe taxes and we don't do anything, because we don't want to take ownership. I don't know if it's an automatic foreclosure, if a lien isn't paid in a certain amount of time. That's what he's looking into. The lawyer's doing a bunch of research. So I just kind of wanted to give you guys an update on that. KB Cog is willing to help get us some brownfield money. So clean up money.
Have you talked to them in about liability?
Not yet.
And the ownership is questionable here.
Yeah, not yet.
Just to expand a little bit on what Kelly said about the owner, Jerry Tipper was the owner of Cascade Mill LLC. And I spoke to him last fall. He has all his senses and everything. It's not like he's in the nursing home because he can't do anything. He's well, he's one of these retirement committees. So, and I know him, and I said, so we're looking into this property that Cascade LLC owned. He said, we don't own it anymore. We gave it to the town. Well, what he meant by that, which he didn't expound on, they haven't paid taxes. And his comment was, in lieu of taxes, we gave it to the town. And that was back in what, 19 something, a long time ago. So from his view, and the LLC is no longer existing. So the owner we have upstairs on our maps shows Cascade Mill LLC.
That's
There-
Cascade Properties LLC.
What's that?
It's Cascade Properties.
He had all his things in LLCs, and every one of them has been dissolved. He doesn't pay the state monies on them. There is no Cascade LLC anymore. So in his mind, because he didn't pay, or in lieu of taxes, he didn't say because he didn't pay taxes. In lieu of taxes, he was giving it to the town. So he is the owner of record that we have upstairs on our tax maps. But they don't exist.
Just a little input. He's certainly not in a nursing home. They're in an assisted living facility, still go to Florida every winter. So that's, I think, a little bit of a misunderstanding.
It's a retirement community.
Right.
It's down in one of those found ones.
Right, but he's not in
No,
the
that's what I'm saying.
nursing home.
There's no issues.
No.
Yeah, so
So I wonder that, the way the law reads now, is we take someone's property for pay taxes, and we turn around and sell it, we have to give him the proceeds, or them the proceeds. I think we have to look into that and see how that,
Yeah, you're gonna, you know.
yeah, because it'd be a shame to put hundreds of thousands of dollars into that. He'd be sitting there more than happy to take $100,000 back.
It would be the LLC.
Yeah.
It's not the LLC.
They have to sign off on it. They have to sign off on it.
I don't know.
Do a quick claim.
I'm just saying, it'd be interesting to see what the lawyer would say.
This would be a good question for the lawyers. You have an LLC that owned the property, they've disbanded. Their owner says he doesn't own the property anymore. What's the best for us to take legally?
Kelly?
Have we ignored the unpaid taxes or abated the unpaid
we
taxes?
haven't debated it.
We've ignored them because of the dangerous chemicals in the ground. But we haven't wanted to take responsibility for them.
I didn't want the town to have the liability of
Oh, I agree.
owning that
100%.
place.
No, I
The
agree.
dangerous
That's why we
place down there.
ignored and, said,
But
no.
again, it's like
You
Nate's
got it.
house, it's dangerous. When does it become town responsibility
But-
for not taking action of health and safety? You know?
It'd be an interesting question.
Yeah, so I want to sort of this.
Got your homework out.
I know. But I just want to update you on that.
Thank you.
And then, Sheila is here. We You want me to do it or you want?
Sure.
Okay. Good. She got some money. We need some money accepted, so go ahead.
So I applied for a grant. We talked about it a little bit last time I was here for the bids. And I applied for a grant and we received the grant. So it's $15,000. And we were hoping that, well, maybe we could use it towards rooftop units, but that's $60,000. Not even a drop in the bucket for that. So that's kind of over here waiting. But if we accept this grant, we can put that money back into our building reserve that we just paid for our heat pumps. And then there's a couple of other things that we can have done because heat pumps were just 13,000.
12,000,
Yeah. So, but we have to use the 15,000 by next May of 2026. So there's a couple of other things I can talk to AJ about that would be covered in the grant that we could do to use up the rest of the grant. But I was talking to Kelly, I'm like, what do I do? Do we sort of put it back in the reserve? Because it will still be in the reserve, so if we do need building maintenance, we can still use it. I thought that would be the best thing, because the ACs are covered under the grant. So that would just put it back and build our reserve again, and maybe some year we can have the rooftop units replaced or adequately repaired. I think they're beyond repair. So that's somewhere down the road. So I'm just looking for the acceptance of the grant.
Thank you for it. Motion is made. Do we have a second? Second, all in favor? Good work.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Nice job on getting the ground. Anything else, Kelly?
Memorial Day Parade, so the Legion has asked, they're gonna have the,
Viewing platform.
viewing platform, that's what it's called, podium, for any, town official that might sit up there at the day of the parade. So just extending that. We know Dana's gonna be leading the parade.
Kelly volunteered.
You be doing the like.
Yeah.
The Queen way.
Yeah.
See? It's great.
Kelly's opening Memorial Hall during the
Yeah.
Memorial Day celebration.
Yeah.
I'll help you with Memorial Hall one day.
That's all I got.
Next item up on the agenda is going into executive session under one MRSA 4056F as in Frank. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming. Have a great night. Motion. Motion made second, all in favor?
I want to tell you something.
Oh, stand by.
Oh,
Stand by. Let's stand. I'm gonna back up. Just a second. I apologize.
that's okay. I just wanted to, two things. One, an update on the turtle signs.
Yep, I've talked with, AJ and Jeff. And AJ was going to go see his sign guy
Out at Waterville.
to get those
Fabulous.
made.
They just asked me, that's all. They're like, can you check on my turtle signs? I'm like, gotcha. Check on the turtle signs.
That's great, because I've had to stand there and stop traffic before to help turtles cross. So,
That was the only thing. Thank you.
We had a motion going in.
Put the signs up, the turtles are gonna all cross there then, right?
Yes. Like dear folks. Motion is made for executive session by Dave. Seconded by, and all in favor. Thank you. Good night, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. Just like that. Woman that called in about the deer crossing. Yeah. Yeah. Why don't they just cross them down by the school?
You know, by the spot, like how, freeway between the.